In this lesson, we're going to continue to solve problems involving rates. We're just going to look at two examples, and then we're going to move on and look at some key ideas, and that will be it for solving problems involving rates. First problem says this: it takes 1 minute and 55 seconds to fill a 60-liter gas tank. How long to the nearest second will it take to fill a 35-liter tank? Now, we know that it's just over half the amount of time. So one method that you might want to look at is estimating to see if your answer is reasonable. I mean, my estimate would be that it's, since 35 liters is just more than half of 60, that it's going to take just more than half of a minute and 55 seconds. So my estimate is just about 1 minute. That's estimating. Now we'll actually get to an exact answer. So I've set up a proportion here as a fraction. We know that it takes 1 minute and 55 seconds per 60 liters, and my goal is to find out how many seconds it takes for 35 liters. There are plenty of ways you could do this, and you may want to pause the video to try it on your own. The method I'm going to use is to find out a unit rate. So if I know, in other words, how long it takes to fill 1 liter of gas, we should then be able to figure out how long it takes to fill 35 liters of gas. So the first thing I'm going to do is multiply the 1 minute by 60 seconds. So we know that 1 minute is 60 seconds. So 1 minute and 55 seconds, if I add those, would be 60 plus 55, which is 115 seconds. So we know it takes 115 seconds for 60 liters. Now, if I would like to convert this into a unit rate, I could divide my time by 60 and my fraction by 60, and that would give me, if you look on the calculator here, 115 divided by 60, that it takes 1.916 continued. So 1.916 continued seconds for every 1 liter of gas. Now, all I need to do is, if that's the time it takes to fill up 1 liter, I need to multiply it by 35, and that is going to give me the amount of time that it's going to take to fill up 35 liters. So multiply that by 35, and I have 67.08, and I'm going to take, it says to the nearest whole second, so 67.08 is 67 seconds. So it's going to take me approximately 67 seconds to fill up 35 liters of gas. And that is my solution using unit rates. The next question is comparing gas prices. These gas prices are a little bit old, but we'll get the same point across. Gas continues to escalate in price. So in this particular question, it says Jeff lives in a town near the Canada-US border. The gas tank of his truck holds about 90 liters. He can either buy gas in his town at $1.06 per liter, and that's in Canadian dollars, or travel across the border into the United States to fill up at $2.86 US per gallon. So in Canada, we're charged a certain amount of money per liter, and in America, we're charged a certain amount of money per gallon. It says, answer mathematically, should Jeff fill up his truck in Canada or the United States? Use the exchange rate that $1 in US money is equivalent to $1.02 Canadian. And that's also not quite the current rate, but we'll answer the question based on this problem. At this point in time, we know that it's cheaper to buy gas in the United States, regardless of anything at this moment, just with the fact that it is cheaper in the States. But let's answer this mathematically. So we know, so we're going to start comparing these. We know that in Canada, which I'm going to solve in red, it's $1.06 Canadian for 1 liter of gas. In the United States, it's $2.86 United States for 1 gallon. So the first thing I'm going to do is convert my United States money into Canadian money. And if we know $1 United States is $1.02 Canadian, if I times this by $1.02, that's going to give me how much it is Canadian. So 286 times $1.02 is about $2.92 Canadian. So it's costing $2.92 Canadian for 1 gallon. And we also know, if you look at previous lessons, that 1 gallon contains 3.79 liters. So if I'd like to convert that, I know I'm going to multiply that by 3.79. So at this particular time, and this is only one method of solving, but what we'd like to do is put these into the same types of units. And that costs $2.92 Canadian for 3.79 liters. Now in both cases, red and blue, we have Canadian and liters, but we don't have a comparable number, not equivalent numerically in the denominator. This is cost per 1 liter, and this is the cost time per 3.79 liters. What I'm going to do is find out the unit rate. So how much does it cost per 1 liter? So if I take the cost and divide it by 3.79 liters, that's going to give me the unit rate. So I take $2.92, divide it by 3.79. That gives me 77 cents per liter, or in other words, $0.77 Canadian per liter. So as you can see here, we've already compared them. It is 77 cents Canadian per liter in the States and $1.06 Canadian per liter in Canada. Now, if he only wanted 1 liter of gas, would it be better for him to go to Canada or the United States? I would assume Canada, because he'd have to wait in a long lineup to get to the United States, and he would be using gas to get there. But what it says is he wants to fill up 90 liters, so if we actually use that, the cost for 90 liters in each place, so $1.06 times 90 would be $95.40. For 90 liters, and this is Canadian money in red here. And if I want to find out the cost in the United States, I could times that by 90 as well. Again, this is one of many methods, but it's 77 cents approximately times 90. That's $69.30. That's Canadian money per 90 liters. So if you look in the red and the blue, it's far cheaper if he's filling up in 90 liters to fill up in the States. He's saving about $26 roughly. So it's cheaper to buy gas in the States if he's going to fill up completely. So finally, the key ideas from this section is basically just giving you some tips and hints. When solving problems, estimating is always a good place to start. So you want to estimate so you know if your answer is reasonable. And there are many strategies for solving problems that involve rates, and I've included 4 of them. One method is to use what I'm calling simple multiplication and division strategies or common sense. So in some cases you just know the route to go and you can go there. Another method is equivalent ratios. So if you want to compare two things, the units in the numerator and denominator must be the same. If they're not, they'll have to be the same, and you'll solve by using multiplication or division, so maybe comparing unit rates. Thirdly, sometimes you're going to have to convert between units. So like I did in the last problem, I had to convert between American and Canadian money and gallons and liters. So you may have to convert to make them similar types of units. And then including units with each term avoids confusion. And finally, a common comparison method is to use unit rates, because unit rates are useful for comparing.